Attracted to Oregon State when you signed?
Um, I mean, they gave me a chance. They believed in me, and that's just something you don't pass up, you know. I find it like on my visit here, it felt like home, I think, and I know I could do special things here.
Did it have any bearing on the fact that a lot of Texas running backs have come up here and succeeded?
Um, Not 100%. I knew like, you know, I could be the next in line to be a part of that great list, but it was more so just about having that opportunity and being able to, you know, really make something happen here.
Did you think you were going to play your first year?
Um, I think Coach Ford was really just like continue to work hard, even while you get up here, learn a lot from the guys that's already here, and when the opportunity is in front of you, you know, just take advantage of it.
Yeah. What was the difference between the first time you played this season and Saturday? What were you seeing Saturday that maybe you weren't seeing a month or two ago?
That's a great question. I would definitely say from the first week, obviously, you know, I'm a few months out of high school, and the speed of high school is, you know, completely different. And just those reps through practice, having those reps against the scouts, just that rep count and getting a feel for the speed of college definitely made it seem a lot easier. Like Saturday, it just kind of felt like when I got in that mode, it was just do what I do best, you know.
Is the game like starting to maybe slow down for you on the field a little bit? There were a couple times Saturday where you kind of showed some patience and you waited for a block to set up and then you gained some yards. Was that sort of patience something that you would have had earlier in the season, or is that something that's developed?
Well, I like to say, like, my biggest philosophy at running back is, you know, the more carries you get in a game, you know what I'm saying, just the more comfortable you get. And you just start seeing things better. You start knowing, like, how the defense is flowing. And I think that's just something that we all have. Like, running back is an art form, and that's just something you just kind of have, you know. So definitely something I've gotten better at, but I think it's just in you as well.
If running back's an art form, how would you kind of describe your style?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't want to say, you know, all those great artists, you know, because I got a long way to go. But I would really say it's like graffiti, really, you know. I think on that field, you know, it's just like any wall, and you just kind of do what you want to do. You know, you take control of the canvas, and you just play your best game, you know, so you do your best artwork.
How are you different than Hank?
That's a great question. I think Hank, you know, he's gonna run dead at you, you know, and he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight real hard for those yards, and I think he's, you know, a rough and tough type of back. I would say I'm a little smoother. You know, obviously my speed being my number one asset. So I think that's kind of where we're a little bit different. You know, even though he's a smaller back, like he plays a lot bigger than his size, you know, and I would say, like for me, again, just being a little smoother, a little quicker, you know, but I would say that's just the biggest difference. It's really not much, and I'm learning so much from him as well.
Do you think as you get older and put on a few college muscles that you start running at guys more like
Yeah,
Hank?
for sure. And I think I have the ability to do it now, but Hank is a dog, you know, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can from him and run like him. You know, in high school, you can do what you want, you know. In college, you know, you gotta, as a younger back, you know, you gotta find ways to, you know what I'm saying, do what you do. And definitely putting on some more weight, some more muscle, and run at guys for sure.
Yeah. A lot of your production has come on some of that outside zone stuff. I'm curious, was that a big staple of what you were doing in high school, or is that just kind of your skill set here?
No. In high school, we majored in inside zone. And, you know, obviously, like my coach in high school, you know, he always preached being elite at everything. And, you know, all throughout the week, Coach Ford was just saying, trust your track, run your track. And so, you know, I get in the game, and I'm remembering that. You know, while the fans are cheering and everything like that, I'm hearing Coach Ford in the back of my mind, trust your track. And so me being a decent athlete and having some speed, just trust my track. And once it's green grass, you know, again, do what you do.
What, I gotta ask, what was going on with your footwork a little bit on Saturday? You tripped over a yard line once, you kind of
Yeah.
stumbled a few other times. Was it the cleats or?
Yeah, it was, my cleats were worn down. And so I told Arnie, I was like, Arnie, I gotta get my other cleats. And so I stopped having the issue once I switched cleats, but yeah, it was crazy. It wasn't, the moment was too big or anything like that. It was seriously like,
It was the cleats.
it was my cleats. And my teammates noticed it too. They didn't ask me what was wrong. It was like, what's wrong with your cleats? So they kind of know,
They probably didn't, they probably weren't nice about it though, I imagine.
Oh, no. They've been giving me.
The freshmen the.
Oh my goodness! All practice, all week. It's probably gonna last all the season. But it just makes me better. It makes me, be more detail oriented and what I'm saying, perfect my footwork. I think I left 2-3 touchdowns on the table, given my home run ability due to me slipping. So
What's next for you in terms of your development or your progress to be a 3-down back here?
Definitely pass pro. Obviously in high school, I was the guy, and most running backs are, coming from a smaller school, you're going to have 25 carries. I had a great receiver in high school who 50-50 ball, he was going to go get it, so I didn't have to really worry about pass pro, and I think that's the main thing that will take me to that next level, and obviously to the next level is pass pro. So every day, I dial it up with Coach Ford, Coach DeVan, obviously him and his greatness, learning a lot in pass pro and being dialed in and, slowing it down in that, we get out of the huddle, right, you got to be able to see the whole field. And even when, the ball is snapped and bullets are flying, you need to still be able to read your keys, your +1, your +2, your scan. So all those things really are things I can just get better at. And when I get older, those are things that are just second nature.
Is there another back, either in the college level or at the NFL level, that you really tailor your skill set after or try to model your game after?
Definitely Jahmyr Gibbs. And, him being from Alabama, great back, a lot of speed, a lot of physicality, though, as well. And then I like to take it back old school. I'm not 6'3", but Eric Dickerson, that's definitely my favorite, and then Barry Sanders. So a lot of those guys, that's what I model my game after. I try to be like, I try to learn from. Those were a lot. Those were great backs, and I had a lot of burst and speed. So
Eric Dickerson, he was before you were born.
I know, and I watch a lot of that film. I don't like how they slow it down though on the NFL highlights. I like the game speed to really see how they were moving.
What about his game, Dickerson? What do you like the most?
He was a sprinter. He was a sprinter first. He made everything look easy, look smooth. I know it's a documentary, and I think his coach said, it looks like you're not running. He was running full speed, and I remember having that through high school. Sometimes it made it look like I'm not running, but people can't catch me. So just his ability to make things look easy. He was so fluid and so smooth, and when it was green grass, he was off to the races.
Gotta get the goggles if you want to be Eric.
I can't do the goggles. Can't do the goggles.
Can't do the goggles. Okay.
Well, anything else?
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.